Today, I'm going to share my perspective on the difference between Reels and Stories as it relates to Instagram. So, in my network, there's been a lot of confusion and frustration. So, I just wanted to, put this out there for y'all to enjoy. And with that being said, I've been doing this for a while. I'm coming up on 15 years supporting remarkable leaders as they navigate the internet. And I'm also the author of a book called Financial Joy and one called Developing Digital You with over 400 tactics. But today I'm here to talk about Reels versus Stories. So first off, Reels, they're kind of like videos that should be timeless or could be timeless for future people to see and outsiders to stumble on. So think of them as like a business card or a physical rat card or a type of content that you want to move. You want more people to find it because if people enjoy it and watch it multiple times, the algorithm sends it out to more people. Reels tend to be trendy. They're visually diverse, so not just your talking head video, although it can be. And you can leverage templates and fun music, and there's just a ton of creativity that's coming through the Reels game. And then it is shareable to the public as a link. So you can share it to a LinkedIn group or a Facebook group, or you can blog about someone else's reel. And so these are very much like YouTube videos in the sense that they can move around the internet or they can kind of just sit there. Stories, on the other hand, are short form content that disappears over time unless you put it to your highlights. But these are really designed to build like trust and connection with your current followers. So outsiders aren't necessarily going to see these. So it's designed to really just keep your network up to date with what's going on. You can showcase things like your day in the life, cool things happening, introducing other people to your network. And then from here, you can share a link to a YouTube video, to a reel, to a podcast, to another, a book launch page. You can share links to this, which is great because reels don't have links. You can say link in the bio, but that's getting old. And so know that if you're promoting something, you can do a couple quick stories about it and then give them the link in the story. Storyboarding is now vertical. That's one of the bigger changes I've noticed for both stories and reels. It's a vertical game. Captions work both in reel and stories. So you can see here, you can click the happy sticker and then it kind of bounces you to a bunch of options. Look for captions. It takes about a minute or two, so pack your patience for these. But it's nice because a lot of times people don't watch. They don't listen, but they're watching, so they might be reading if you give them this option. And then you can position the text, you can pinch it and kind of move it around the screen, and then you can tap. If you want to fix a word, you can do that as well. Now, bigger picture philosophy here. This is my little spectrum of the show and tell spectrum. On the left here, you can do a lot of show and tell. You don't need to use your face for these. You can showcase a portfolio by recording on your phone. You can record your screen. You can do flat lay, over the top, creative angles, process videos. These, like your creativity, can just go wild with these. Now you can also interview people, do a collaboration where there's multiple people in a reel or a story. You can do talking head videos, you can do scripted or improv. And so again, just by looking at the screen, there's 10 ideas of what you could be leveraging these. Now you have an option, your voice or their voice. It's kind of fun in the sense that you can leverage somebody else's voice or music to go over your content. But you can also teach or share your perspective or um, plan something with your audio, or maybe you record someone else in the room, or recording some of these like thoughtful, poetic, or creative audios that you can literally recreate content over someone else's voice. So you have options. And again, traditional music versus trendy music. There's a tactic around trendy music, but not all your favorites are going to be trendy necessarily. Depending if you, love music from the 50s, 60s, 70s, those may not be accessible, but some of them are. And so know that just for a, midweek kind of maintenance thing, go find 10 songs that you like, and then you'll always have content, musical content. So templates versus your own mix. Now this is where the really magical storytelling comes in. Templates can be where you just add media clips of your photos or video clips, and then you can literally, mix it up with some punchy music, and you'll see as you're out networking, sometimes this little button emerge that says use template, and you can use that exact template versus having to, map out something really cool. Now, on the other end, you can decide your time per clip. If you want 10 seconds of this, 5 seconds of that, 20 seconds over here, share whole live. The stories tend to be, to me, it's mixed media galore. There's a lot of different types of content you can share to your stories. But just a quick reminder, a photo is not a story. Now, it's true, a photo can, have 10, it can capture the essence of someone or some place. But when I'm talking about stories, I'm saying multiple clips that kind of show into your brand or into your vision. For example, some story ideas. If you were just baking cookies, you could literally start with like the recipe of chocolate chip cookies. You could do a live demonstration. You could show a pretty photo of someone happy holding the cookies, just a close up of the cookie. You could do this flat lay type of photo, and then like someone raving about it, just like like a really happy, almost a testimonial of this wonderful baking experience. Now, business conference, notice the colors are changing here. Every time the color changes, it's content from another person or brand. And this is where the bigger picture storytelling can really be cool because you can share from plethora of perspectives. So your audience isn't just seeing your view, they're seeing a view from the CEO, from another team. You can see the ad of the who, what, where, and why. You can just do a live of the event. You could have a testimonial. You could weave in, interview somebody from the audience, and of course, wrap it up with a group selfie, right? So there's a lot of ways you could be storytelling through stories, and you don't always have to create the content to leverage the content. And again, you'll see on the templates for Reels, you can use templates or kind of create your own templates for your own. So scripted, I'm a fan of scripts, but I'm also a fan of just winging it and doing improv. And you'll have to find your mix of how much do you prepare on the front end versus just, you don't always know what's going to happen in your day. So there's always an element of surprise. And I think people enjoy that. Back to the music content. You can see in the bottom left here, that little arrow, it means it's a little bit trendy. And there's a tactic to, leveraging music that's on the rise. But I just suggest really get a handful of music that you like that you can leverage before you need it. So find music that feels like the brand. And if you're not sure, you can kind of watch some of your competition or your competitor or collaborators and see what music they're using. But I feel like this audio part of our branding, we weren't coached on a lot, like with your logo or whatnot. But what is that, music vibe of your brand? That's something you're gonna have to be looking at. And then 3 main considerations for stories and reels. 1, know your purpose. I've seen some brands out there that are literally doing it just to hire and recruit young talent. Some people are using it for sales and strategy. Some, it's more just collaboration and connecting with the greater community. Some are using it like primarily for art inspiration, and that's totally okay. So your purpose can change throughout the month or throughout the year, but you got to have a purpose. Otherwise, it just seems like, what's the point? um, I love the one of creative expression. Sometimes it's just nice to share your thoughts and your visuals and your project just for the sake of expressing yourself. Obviously, for business expansion, I was thinking about Richard Branson in the back of my head and how much he values expansion of like, how do you really grow the business? Networking, great networking opportunities, and then storytelling. And within the networking, if that's one of your intentions, be thinking about how do you build your own directory or list. Now, recently, I've created a remarkable resources directory in my publication where brands can pay to be in this directory to network with people around the state. But for you, I encourage you to have your own internal directory or list of VIPs or collaborators. Because here's the thing, their brand name, like my brand name on Instagram is at Dreamosity, whereas you might know me as Marcelle or Marcy, right? So the brand name and the personal name are different. And to me, if you've got a larger network, having a list that breaks this down, it's lovely to have. And then number 3, get intentional. Are you using Instagram as networking? or look at it as a form of networking. So whether you have 10 minutes or an hour, set a goal each time you open the app. Maybe your goal is to pick 2 songs. Maybe your goal is to entertain, 100 people. Maybe the goal is to find 3 new locations for a future set, or you want to encourage 10 friends, right? Your intention can change, but if there's no intention, it does just feel like this overwhelming, unfruitful time. And really, to me, your reel is it's part of your business, your verbal business card of the day, right? You're giving viewers a chance to respond. Sometimes they'll have and want to connect, and sometimes they'll yawn and just kind of move on. And I also encourage you to track your appointments you set via Instagram. Maybe the goal, get in there, set 10 appointments for the month. Maybe that's like a 2-hour, Sunday afternoon thing you're doing. Some old school basics that I love to teach and remind people on: have your branding lane. Know who you are and what you're all about, and know what you're not, right? So you don't have to cover everything just because everyone else is, but get clear. Who are you? What are the topics and ideas you're going to talk about? And what don't you do? Think of your shot list as a visual agenda. I know a lot of you have run meetings with agendas, so why not have for your day a shot list? Or if you're going downtown or you're going to a big event or a golf, oh my goodness, golf tournament, or you're going skiing, or you're going, you've got something special, make a quick little shot list just as an agenda so you can do some storytelling later. And then, of course, CTAs, have one. And I encourage you, have a list of 10, because people get kind of, they stop paying attention to the same old, give me a call today, or, click now. Get creative with this and plan them out ahead of time so you can always just look to a little list and know exactly what you're inviting them to do. With all that being said, I want to invite you folks to consider joining the Revenue Ringlet. It's where we talk about things like influence trajectory, oh, that's a tough word, and sphere of influence, and some other topics around data art. But really, my ask for you today by watching this video is a thank you. Go out in your network and ask 3 colleagues if they would be interested in learning more about data art. And if they are, send them to the revenueringlet.com. Thanks so much. I hope this was helpful, and definitely give me a follow at Dreamosity.